Hey, welcome again to another episode of Cardboard Conversations. Pat the Pauper here, joined with the MTG Gaming crew. Hey guys, great to see you.
Hey, thanks for having
So
us
we
again.
got a little bit of a pre-recorded show for you. I'm going away for the 4th of July weekend, so not going to be able to make it for a live show, but we will do this for tonight, and we're going to have a live premiere. So look forward to us down in the comment section when this comes out. So we'll see you on Saturday. Till then, we've got a long conversation here. We've been talking about prices going up and down, and we've been kind of just throwing some darts at a board. Bob, any thought on what the draft boxes of Double Masters 22 is going to be?
Actually, I think that we're going to see a similar trend. I think we stabilize for the moment at the prices that they are as of this recording on the 28th. The box prices for the draft are sitting around $370, and the collector boxes are around $287. So I think we're going to see that hold for a while. We might see a short spike just before release. That's typically how these products go. And then I have a feeling immediately after release, when people start actually getting the products in their hands, it's going to be a race to the bottom to to offload the product with all the price spikes that we've seen for probably the first couple of weeks at least, as people gobble them up. But realize this is a very limited print run from all indications. So careful about racing to the bottom out there. I have a feeling there'll be a quick turnaround for it going back up.
Yeah, I've watched a few box openings, and honestly, they don't look great. There was one that was like a really good box for draft, and then the other three ones were just kind of. They're certainly not $400 there. I don't think they're worth the $400 price tag. I know that later on down the road, when the supply dries up, and because there's such a limited print run, and like any other sealed product, they'll go up in price and they'll be worth more. But opening stuff from them is not going to be. And it's not easy. There's a lot of cards. So like trying to get the actual cards you want, very unlikely.
Now, do you think that people are going to be opening up the draft product specifically as a chase down the mythic high value cards, or are people actually going to enjoy it as a draft product?
I hope both. I hope you could still draft with your friends and then also still hunt for the mythics, but
if you're opening Double Masters 2022 at a nearly $400 price point to draft, you are a baller. I'm just going to say that right now.
I want to do it, but I ain't paying $400 for a draft box.
Well, I have a feeling.
I've got a draft box on the way. My investing partner that I do this with, we bought in on this product together. Expensive, so we kind of pooled our money. And he's really, really pushing to open up the draft box for exactly that. A draft environment experience. Now we've got two other friends that would probably buy in, pretty expensive, probably charge, our price per pack. So they might be paying,
$60 to draft
or something. Do them decent, not be too mean, say, hey, Corey, why don't you bring some beers with you and we'll give you a decent price on opening some packs. Keep what you get. Have a great time, high five all around the table, enjoy, but have a draft or maybe do sealed. Do it that way.
A lot of people talk about the value of the set, but if you look at the actual set, I actually think it'd be a blast to draft.
It seems like it would be great. It's hits from all over, the pool of cards in a draft pack seems like it's a pretty low combination of commons and uncommons. So you're really getting a lot of gas with your rares. The rare selection is really extensive in this, which I think is something that is of note, because the mythics being such a small pool and being so hard to pull, there's a huge selection of rares that people are going to see. So my expectation, hate to say it, but I think Smothering Tithe is definitely going to get down to like $25, maybe $20. That's about my point. I think we'll see Smothering Tithe in the regular version down into the 20s, and some of the higher, fancier versions pretty dang low as well. Yeah,
I
actually think Smothering Tithe is going to get down to around that $15 threshold.
Yep, I agree.
But you're talking about a very large pool of cards. you're talking about a large pool of commander-specific cards, right?
Mhm.
So you're talking about this in a draft, and I have a feeling it might be actually not the best draft experience because you have so many multicolored cards, not a ton of color fixing in this set at all. So
how many cryptic lands can you run? Can you just run one, or can you run as many as you pull? Because every pack has one.
I'm gonna. I mean, if it's like depends on the format. So
you know, honestly, if I was playing with my buddies around the table, I'd probably say we can run as many as we want.
That's what I was thinking.
It's
I
going
don't
to
know
be
if
a
there's a
hanging out,
limit.
have a good time thing. It's not
but
like
if you're drafting, you're only opening 3 packs, right? So likely each person is only going to have
at least
3 to 4.
3. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's one of those cards that you remove like the token when you draft it. Maybe. I don't know if it's
I don't know. I'm just
card.
saying I don't think this is a super well designed set with. I mean, look at just how many multicolored cards there are. How many 3-colored cards there are.
No, I think that's a great point. From top down, I would expect this to have designed as a reprint equity set, an outlet for high price cards, you know, choosing to put something like Imperial Seal and these brand new textured foils first in their ever history of Magic. So I think from top down, this was designed as a set for high value items and price points, where the draft experience was probably, if ever thought of, very late in the sequence.
I mean, if you were going to do this draft, you would figure they would have more land cycles that are color fixing for the amount of 3-color plus cards that are in the set. You even have a 5-color card in here.
It feels kind of sad that Double Masters 2022 is more Commander Legends than Commander Legends Baldur's Gate.
So, you know, I've heard the meme of Commander Masters, and
yeah,
I think that's
unfair.
I'd actually love to see that specifically as a designed product. You know, include the fetch lands, because it'll be another 2 years before there's another Magic Masters product. It seems usually in a 24-month cycle. So
next year will be a little different because of the 30th year anniversary. They'll probably do a 30th Masters.
Well, they might do something. They might even come up with a new product that's, you know, Masters was never a thing before. They might come up with a Wizards series or a Grand Poobah, or, you know.
Didn't they do a Masters 25?
Yeah, and it was okay. I mean, whatever. Not the greatest.
I just assumed they would do a Masters 30.
Maybe. I have yet to see what they'll do, but they are putting the Lord of the Rings in there for a modern set. I don't know what they intend to do with that. I think that's where I'm starting to save my money for already, and we're kind of drifting into the, you know, post Double Masters 2022 talk. So before we go down that road, I did want to say that I don't think it's fair to call Double Masters a Commander Legends Masters, right? A Commander Masters, what do you want to call it? I think it, honestly, looking at all the downshifting and things that they've done, they're trying to appeal to all people all the time, everywhere, with every format, all in one set, right? I don't know how great of an idea that is. It's probably why we're seeing so many high-dollar reprints going into this, because it's trying to appeal to so many different formats all at once with a master set. But I don't think it's necessarily, as a Commander draft product, I think it's terrible.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, this isn't a dig at Commander, or this isn't a dig at Double Masters. This is a dig at Commander Legends Baldur's Gate. How it doesn't feel.
That was just a crappy set. It was just a bad idea, poorly designed, with super overpriced dragons that are just not that great, not deserving $60 price point.
It's sad that a set that isn't designed to be a predecessor of Commander Legends is more Commander Legends than the predecessor, is what I was, I guess, trying to say.
But people are like, they're tinfoil hatting that, they pulled cards out of that set to put it in the set. Now, while I agree there are some cards that deserve to be in that set that they could have afforded to take from Double Masters, right? I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg. And to be quite honest with you, the Baldur's Gate, it felt sketch to me. I said it last year. I was like, uh-oh. You know, I hope they don't AFR it again. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
Wasn't there confirmation that Mana Drain was supposed to be in?
No, there's no confirmation. That's people pulling shit out of their tuchus.
Yeah.
And
I thought there was
just,
some kind of confirmation somewhere. I don't
No.
know why they would ever say that.
No.
That'd be kind
Yeah,
of strange.
right. Yeah.
No.
Well, so
And
that's one of the things is that I think that there's a bit of skewing in the idea that because there are really good reprints in Double Masters 22, you know, Smothering Tithe is freaking great. Treasures
Yeah.
are just used everywhere now, especially white being such an underutilized thing. You're getting such great value. Phenomenal card. You see it in so many decks. Expensive though. Great place to reprint it. So it feels
I
like
mean, you
it's
see it in so many commander decks.
yeah,
Smothering Tithe really doesn't see play elsewhere.
right. Well, that's the thing is, you know, I'm mostly a commander player. So that's where, you know, a lot of my standpoint comes out for value and price points on cards, especially because that seems what Wizards is really pushing nowadays too, with all of their Commander Unique products.
Yeah.
So I think that having a Masters product is a great outlet for cards that are more difficult to get your hands on. So it's a phenomenal outlet for people to be able to get these reprints of cards that they need. Where Commander Legends 2 Battle for Baldur's Gate wasn't supposed to be a reprint set. You know, there are going to be a couple of staples, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, you know, you get the regular stuff, but it's also going to be mainly new cards. So it wasn't the place for a whole lot of reprints.
I agree with that, and I think that it would have been terrible to put many of these cards like Dockside Extortionist and Smothering Tithe. If you think they're going to get nuked being in Double Masters, with the biggest complaint what I'm hearing from most people is there's no product available. Well, what does that mean? They're not going to put a huge surplus of all these cards. It's a massive set with limited print run. It's a place to put your reprint equity so it doesn't get demolished, right? So that you're not just flooding the market and losing all the reprint equity. If you had put it in Baldur's Gate and it became a real banger set that just keeps getting reprint after reprint after reprint, those cards are going to get nuked in a set like that. So it's kind of good that they weren't in that set. Now, I think that they could have created a better set, to be quite honest. I think there are things they could have done to put new powerful cards into the format. New things that they can do to help generate new equity, new value, especially in freshly printed cards, you know, new cards where you're introducing them to the market for the first time would have been a great place to do it. I think they did a huge disservice. Flavor-wise, I think it was a fail for Baldur's Gate. I think that power-wise, it doesn't deserve the Commander Legends title. Yeah, I like the fact that they're making multiple Commander draft sets, and in its own bubble with nothing else around it. From what I understand, people are saying that it's fun to draft and play with. I think it's very much in line with the power down that we've seen starting all the way back from really Strixhaven moving forward. You know, the sets, at least the standard sets, are just not as powerful as what we are accustomed to with the previous years that were out with, you know, Dominaria, Throne of Eldraine, Ikoria, Core 21. You know, those sets had a lot of power in them. And then Modern Horizons 2 was just, whew, wow, that's a set that's going to age fabulously well along with Commander Legends 1, because that was also stupidly powerful. And I think they realized that that might have been a mistake, right?
So I'm looking at MTG stocks right now, and they've got a ticker that runs by. It's similar to a stock website, but for Magic the Gathering. And every single card right now at the top for going up in value is rares and mythics from Double Masters 22 because of the rarity of pulling some cards. So it looks as though
I agree with Matt.
Movement
Matt
seems
Matt
to
said
be
it's going to be Matt said it's going to be difficult to pull any specific card that you want out of that set at that price point. I agree. Not the way to do it.
That's something I've been talking about for a little ways. Is I really don't think there's going to be a terrible amount of this stuff opened.
Oh,
that's so sad.
I think you're going to see a massive amount of this stuff open. Plus, there's 2 months.
Yeah,
there's going to be a 2-month drought, guys. Don't underestimate that. You have content creators that are going to be starving for content. You have just the doldrums of what are you going to crack then? The last thing that was worth a shit. I mean, Streets of New Capenna wasn't bad, but the last good set was Kamigawa. I mean, Streets of New Capenna is a very, you had a great set box there, Matt, but the set itself is not super exciting.
That was a great box.
And even if you play it on Arena, it's just not like super exciting. Sorry, it just isn't. Maybe it's got some pieces that'll go into commander decks, but it's not, you know, just multicolors are just kind of dirtily and difficult to play.
Yeah.
So at any rate, you're going to have this lull for the next 2 months after release. It's actually like 2 months and a day till the next set, which is Dominaria United, which from all indications is kind of overpriced at the moment. So you're going to buy a $150 box of Dominaria versus, you know.
To say overpriced is a bit of an understatement. I just closed out the tab, but I was seeing that the Dominaria United Jumpstart, which is a whole other conversation, possibly for later tonight. Stay tuned for that. But their regular boxes, their draft boxes, were going for 140, and the set boxes were of like pricing, and that's pretty friggin' insane. I'm
confused on why there's a premium. I don't understand. I don't understand.
It's not a premium. It's the first standard set that has that 11% promised price increase.
But that doesn't add
happening. It does add up.
That's more than 11%.
More than 11%.
Right. But what do you think? What do you think the distributors do as soon as they see WotC increase the prices? They're like, "Oh, well, it's time for us to do our price increase."
Yeah.
And then the retailers, what are they doing? Time for us to increase the price commensurately. So what you're getting is this stacking effect. If you hated stacks while you're playing, this is stacks with finances of distribution chain, folks.
That's what it is. It's 11% for everybody in the food chain.
So it's like 33% total.
Yeah, it's getting stepped on 3 times. So you add 11%. 11%.
The only person that gets screwed is the buyer.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
now, to be fair, because I looked at the prices, and Matt and I actually kind of went hammer and tongs at this. Do you know what the price of Arabian Nights packs were? They had an MSRP.
No.
I did.
$2.69.
260?
269.
What a weird number. But okay.
So, do you know what the average cost of a car back then was?
When was that released?
$12,000.
1993.
93?
Because I posted this all in Facebook to you. It was about 14,000 and change.
14. Okay. Wasn't terrible.
Okay.
Either.
So I fast forwarded all the way to 2022. Do you know what the average cost of a car is? The average price of a car, new car?
Like 30.
It's like 34,000.
Try again.
It's probably higher than 40.
Like $43,700.
Yeah.
So if we just do that comparison, because don't even go with gas. Gas was $1 a gallon in 1993. So let's just take a look at cars, right? And we'll just say that things have tripled since 1993. So what should the average pack price be today then for an average standard box?
Let's see, just about $3. So 8 and change.
Yeah, about 8.10.
Yeah.
But what is the average pack price as of today?
It's probably like $4 an LGS, maybe for like Zendikar Rising or something.
And what is the average pack price within the box? Because they charged 36 times 269 back in the day.
Is there still 36 in the Dominaria? I guess it'd be 30 in a set box and 36 in a draft.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just go draft average price, right? So forget about Dominaria.
That's $4.19 a pack for Dominaria.
Let's not talk Dominaria. Let's talk the set just before Dominaria, the standard.
But we're talking about the price increase, which is the first set,
right? But I'm saying let's look at the price increase just before the price increase and after the price increase. So before the price increase,
right now we're at like 105 for a box.
Okay,
roughly.
So divide 105 by 36.
$2.91.
Okay, so it went from 269 to 291 in 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely see that
And
it
now
would.
we're going up to $4, and people are like, "Wah!" When everything else, they should be legitimately $8 and something a pack if they kept the pricing up with everything else that's gone up. And it's not just gas and cars that have gone up, by the way. It's milk. It's everything.
Yeah. Well,
So
so there
I'm
is.
not trying to defend Watsy, but
Yeah.
what they did wrong, like they usually do, Watsy, it's your implementation that sucks. What you
Yeah.
should have been doing is like a 1% increase
1% a
every
year.
year.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Well, so I think that
Nobody
would.
would
Yeah, and then
notice
we'd
a
be
damn
boiling
thing.
frogs that would be paying $8 a pack,
Yeah.
and our box
And
prices
people would be like,
be
"Oh, they haven't improved. They barely increased their prices. They're great. I love them."
right.
But this is the way they do it.
But
It's the way
instead, they
do
wait
it.
until they have a moment that the like watershed event can't hold it back any further. Then we have bam, rubber band snaps, and well, we had to increase it by 11%. So understand, Watsy only did 11% themselves. It's everybody else jumping on the bandwagon.
And there's a lot to be said about the distribution chain, where as their products come in, not only are they okay, the consumer has to pay more, but that's because they have to pay more for everything. I assume that their overhead has drastically gone up throughout this shortage. I mean, COVID has definitely negatively affected many companies.
Yeah, nearly
And
everything.
I mean, to think about like getting ink, whatever crazy process they do for foiling can't be easy or cheap. Now, on top of that, those prices for all of those goods coming in, more expensive. The prices for those things completed going out, more expensive. Just
Yeah, I'm
across
sure
the
Carta Monday has increased their prices, obviously, because they can, like
Again,
everybody
I
else,
think
they can.
I think
So they do it.
Watsy's being unfairly bashed for their 11% increase, right? That's not fair. They certainly deserve bashings, and we could go on and on. Number one, fix your effing foils. You know, that's really disappointing to see curling foils, especially as
Well,
you increase your
that
prices.
is actually something I wanted to take note of. Is in the box openings that I've seen, is most of the foils coming out of Double Masters 22 seem to be of perfect quality.
We'll see.
Yeah, I don't
We'll
know.
see as it ages, as the ink dries. We'll see. It's very early on. I hope they have it fixed, and they definitely should. That shouldn't even be something we have to say, right? Like you don't go to buy your car at the Chevy dealership and say, "Hey, make sure that I don't have wobbly tires on my car."
Right.
Like that would be like
when
what?
I get takeout, I don't want to worry if they put my hash brown in the bag with my breakfast sandwich. It should just be in there every time.
Or inverted the buns. I don't want my bun
Yeah.
upside down on my hamburger, guys.
They didn't
Stop
put
doing that.
egg on my bacon, egg, and cheese.
Hey, Taco Bell, the beans go inside the burrito, not on the outside.
Circling back to Magic the Gathering, I wanted to thank, if there was any of you from the last week's stream, this past Saturday, if you guys went and subscribed to the channel, we hit 500. So I don't know if it was any of you guys, but if any of you guys did, thank you. But I wanted to, Rob and I wanted to do something cool for the 500 subscribers, and we haven't quite 100% decided yet, but I told him that I wanted to open my first collector's box. I've never opened a single collector's pack, let alone a box. I wanted to open my first collector's box on stream live with him. I was hoping that we could do that. So yesterday I was thinking, well, I secured 2 boxes of Double Masters collectors. Maybe I'll open one, even though it's only 4 packs and it's kind of short-lived. But speaking of the actual like pool value of draft versus collectors, it'll be interesting because looking at the 4 box openings that I did so far of draft, it looks like it's an average of about 50 rares and 8 mythics per box. But
it's like 50 to 51 combined.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The total of all of the rares and mythics combined, but it's like 50 rare, or we'll say 42 rares and like 8 mythics roughly for a draft. And from collectors, it seems like it's going to be about 16 total. So rares and mythics. So I don't know how. I mean, obviously the price tag is lower.
I'm going to say
this: foiled and full bordered and textured.
The version matters. Not only that, I'm not seeing any etched in any of the draft boxes.
That's a
that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
not seen any special treatment besides borderless in the draft box.
Oh.
That's the only thing I've seen come out, and my expectation is that so Ikoria, because I opened so much of it, Ikoria and Zendikar Rising. So
What a
every
great set. Ikoria, that is.
you get a borderless card. Every once in a really, really great while, you get a borderless foil. So I've opened probably 8 or 9 boxes of Ikoria draft. I've pulled a single borderless foil triumph out of all of that.
Really?
Yeah, they're super friggin' rare.
I opened 2 boxes and I got 2, I think.
Not foil.
Yeah, you can get the borderless ones, you know, maybe 1 or 2 per box, whereas the borderless foils are particularly difficult to get. And I think that that's the kind of collation that we'll start seeing in more of these products. I think what we saw in Commander Legends Baldur's Gate is definitely following through with how difficult the mythics are and how more difficult some of the rares are, in fact, as well to pull. I like this, though. You know, as someone who likes the sealed box environment, someone who likes opening product as well, it's phenomenal. Because if you open something and you get a good card,
it was 1.
Bang, brother. Yeah, shiny. Look at you guys.
Just 1, but I only opened 2 boxes, so I got lucky, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Good.
I'll say this. Well, I opened an Ikoria draft box and I didn't get any borderless triumphs from the Ikoria box that I opened. 0. I got like 3 triumphs, but I didn't get any borderless ones. So.
Yeah, and I opened a bunch of those blister packs too, because I was getting those Ikoria collector blister packs for a while. They were stupid cheap. They were like, I think I was getting them for like $13 a collector's pack.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so I bought like I think 2 collector boxes worth of them by and by, and even through those, they were pretty hard to get. I got a bunch of really
many
good
triumphs for just 3 boxes. I pulled so many triumphs.
Yeah,
anyways.
Yeah.
So
out of the commander slot, Ikoria, great stuff.
Looping it back to Double Masters, though, I've seen 5 draft boxes and either I want to say 4 collector boxes opened at this point. So that's what total of 9 boxes. There are actually 3 cards. There's 2 cards I haven't seen at all, and a version of one of the cards that I'm really after that I haven't seen opened. So guess what 2 cards I have yet to see pulled?
Liliana and
nope, seen her pulled.
Of textured?
No, I'm not talking about that version.
Oh, you're not talking
about at all.
I haven't seen any
Imperial Seal,
but I haven't
Imperial
seen
Seal. Haven't seen that pulled at all. What other card I haven't seen pulled at all in any of these?
Monocrypt?
It's because it's a card that I want to get. Ulamog.
I've seen Ulamog.
I have. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in one of the draft boxes that I watched. There was definitely an Ulamog there.
Are you sure it wasn't Kozilek? I know they had Emrakul. I've seen a few Emrakuls pulled.
I'm like 80%
I've seen a couple
sure.
of Kozileks pulled. But I have yet to see an Ulamog pulled.
I feel like the Ulamog that I saw was in the same box as a Emrakul. But
I think that was Kozilek.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Like I said from the get-go,
I was wondering if
last
he was
week.
Get all
I'll
3.
say it again.
Like, that would be sick.
They
if he got all 3
reduced
of the
rarities of the pulls from the box. They reduced the rarities of everything. I guarantee you they did. They had to.
The other card that I have yet to see pulled in person because I want to see it so badly and I want one is the alternate art Vidalcan Orrery because I just think that's probably my favorite.
It does look good.
So have yet to see those pulled. So what does that say overall, though? That a lot of these cards, and what Matt's saying is it's going to be very difficult to pull many of these cards, especially the version that you might want. So I'm looking at you, Mox, man. That might have been a wise decision to get your Imperial Seal pre-ordered, because those Jokers, if they are super chase rare, like some cards just are, it might be a great price. Just because a set has something in it doesn't mean that it comes out all that frequently in that set. Looking at you, foiled full art Jewel Lotus after 20-something boxes that Rudy opened, and I think he pulled one. So, you know, some cards are just stupid hard to pull. They're just sort of like a secret chase rare that you don't know until you see quantities open. Now, I've seen a bunch of the, I think I've seen 3 or 4, maybe more, of the Smothering Tides opened in the new borderless art. I've seen a few of the Sensei's Divining Tops in the new art opened. I've seen a few of the Phyrexian Altars opened. Definitely a few of the Emrakul's opened, but you know, that one's banned in Commander, so I think we'll see that one of the Titans most often. I think the second most common I've seen was Kozilek. I have yet to see an alternate art Ren and 6.
No, I don't think I have either.
So I have a feeling after, you know, 10 boxes is a pretty decent pool, especially mixed between collector and draft. We're getting already some indicators. Now we have to see, you know, 100 boxes open before we can get a real feel for the product. But I disagree with both of you, and I think people are going to crack the bejesus out of this set. I think people can't control themselves.
It's not going to get cracked because there's none around. That's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is what is around is going to get cracked.
Oh, yeah, I think a large majority of it. I might, if I crack the first box on stream and it's really good, I'll probably just crack the second box because I'm a fiend.
Right? And that's how most people are. It's that, give me some magic, put it right, take that sealed goodness and shove it right in my veins, people.
I think, you know, I just see it as, you know, such an investment opportunity. You know, you bought in at a great price, hold it for a little while, 6, 12, 18 months, 2 years. If this goes the same way that the last Double Masters product did, where that's now up to $200 for their VIP, which is the equivalent of a pack of the 4-pack collector's box, and their draft boxes are $700. If this goes towards that same way, I'll have this same exact conversation. Say to my buddy, hey, let's put on a travel video of someone walking around in Vietnam. Would you rather do that, or do you want to open this and then sell it and maybe we make more money? Do you want to roll the dice? Which one do you want to do?
You know, you bring an excellent point, and I would like you to, if you don't mind, and let's just do this live. And
I love it.
Share your screen or not? Tell me what a current box price. Go on TCG. I'll get the box price, and what I want you to do is find the EV for Kaladesh.
Okay.
Just a draft box, right? So let's give a relatively, and I'm picking Kaladesh specifically because why do you think I'm picking Kaladesh? What does it have in common with Double
Only
Masters?
if I could like invent an answer for you here off the top of my head.
Right. So, you know,
so including inventions, a booster box, average or market. Let's go with market, because realistically, yeah, $131, including inventions.
Okay. Do you know what the average market price is on TCG Player for a box of Kaladesh?
For
2016, so it's 6 years ago. $349.
$391. So almost exactly 3 times the price. It is 3x'd. Okay. So the EV, well, I'm saying it's 3x the EV. What's the EV on Double Masters?
I don't know. Actually, I actually do kind of know.
Spreadsheets.
Yeah, there was a spreadsheet on Jake and Joel. They were talking about it.
And it was in the 400s.
It's like the average mythic pull is like $35, and the average rare was like $7.
Yes, the mythics are going to go down, but then they'll come back up. but I'm just talking about the relative EV.
It was a little over $400, but let me see if it's changed.
I'm sure it has.
I just watched a 7-minute long collector's box opening, and by the end of the video, he was at $620 in value of anything more than $5. So that's pretty good value when you spend $270 and you go to $620.
So let's just think about that, right? Let's think about that for now. Now we know the prices are going to drop. Let's say everything goes a third, right? We'll just say that. Is it fair to say that they're going to lose 66% of their value, those cards?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think that much. That's
let's just use that example, right?
Sure. Okay.
So your box price is now getting pretty close to your EV.
Yeah.
So MTG Goldfish was hosting a. Let me go ahead. I'll try and share the screen. That would be wicked cool. So MTG Goldfish was hosting a spreadsheet and still is. So here's a giant spreadsheet that they were hosting and still are keeping up to date as of today, and prices for all the cards, mythics, and rares of note, with an estimated value at currently $422 for a draft box.
Okay. And what's the average price right now for a box? We just talked about it, $370.
Yep.
All right. So as of right now, the EV is higher than the box price.
So make sure to go out and buy all of the boxes. Not financial advice.
Hold on.
But there's a really cheap seller on TCG, I hear.
Hold on. Let's I want to get back to the Kaladesh versus Double Masters. Okay. Just to like highlight a point.
Mm-hmm.
The box prices for Kaladesh are 3 times the EV. Now the EV right now is 420, and I was being very pessimistic and saying cut that by 66%, which I think is ridiculous. I don't think it'll go down that far, but let's say 50%. Can we agree on 50% that EV is going to drop to $200?
I think even that's a little bit low in all honesty.
I'm trying to be pessimistic I'm trying to poo-poo on Double Masters just to make a point.
Worst case scenario, sure.
Yeah.
But the product over time, and let me tell you, there was a buttload more Kaladesh printed than there will be for Double Masters.
A lot more delivered, at least. Yeah, for sure. And if, those numbers, with these chase cards, if we're going by those same statistics, if we want to triple EV versus price, I mean, as you're alluding to, EV at 250, 200, triple 200, $600 box for a draft.
Right. That's where I'm going. Right. So just trying to use bad math and being pessimistic.
And speaking of bad math, since such a small pool of sample size at this point, especially for collector boxes, which is, the big one that we're all looking at, where we've only seen a couple of them. We've only seen
one textured pulled. One.
Yeah.
Out of the 4 boxes.
It seems as though these pre-sale prices for some of those very difficult to get, we already thought they were hard to get. And now that we're seeing this product starting to get opened, they're insanely difficult to get. I'll be honest. I really want to see how many boxes Joey Moss has to open before he gets extra foil. Because, we all know, you guys out there in La La Land, tuning in later, leave me a comment below. Let us all know, how many boxes is Joey Moss going to open before he gets his textured foil? I'm guessing 69.
That would be ridiculous because it's in 3% of boxes. But
do you know how much the Imperial Seal foil etched is pre-selling for?
500.
Oh, Bob, that's way too low. I'm going with
way too low.
99.
Way too low. $1,900.
And sold listings. That's sold.
No, this is pre-sale. Let me check to see if any of it actually sold. There's only 3 up for pre-sale right now.
That's the crazy
on
thing.
TCG?
On TCG.
Bob's shown me
Look at the
this.
history.
You know, you can see on MTG stocks percentage movements. So it's phenomenal to see that.
It says we're still gathering data, so potentially none.
22. There is now an incredible movement in a positive way for Double Masters 22 individual cards. It's very out of the norm, which is great to see, is that we're getting high value cards that are staying high value cards because of their rarity, which is
what
exactly
it reminds me of?
what we want, right?
It reminds me of Flesh and Blood cold foils.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, super freaking rare cards.
Some of those compare very closely. The cold foil,
I'll say this, and because of that very point that there's high value cards in there, people are going to look at those sealed boxes sitting on the shelves, even if they intended to have them for investment, and they go, what if I'm the lucky one that pulls the foil etched Imperial seal? And people are going to crack the collector boxes too. They're going to crack. This product is going to be cracked. Look at Modern Horizons 2. That should be like a comparison about just how insatiable the appetite is. People are still buying and cracking Double Masters at $7.50 a box.
Speaking
people
of
we
Modern
know personally, like Feldy cracked one.
If you haven't gotten fetch lands, now's a great time to. You know, just a public service announcement. Pat the Pauper, like to buy it cheap if I can. So now's a great time. If you've got any fucking money left after Double Masters 22, buy some fetch lands. That shit's gonna go up as fast as anything from Double Masters does too.
I mean, I don't disagree. I would start eyeballing too the triumphs from Streets of New Capenna. There's many of them around that $5-6 mark. Not a bad time to get your triumphs, folks. Complete your triumphs if you have
that color pied that they used for the triumphs out of New Capenna, but because I play some 4 and 5 color decks, that shit fits in really easy. You know, I've got a first sliver deck that I really want to tune up. People are all scared of it. Oh, sliver deck, this thing's gonna wreck me. Well, it's not at the point where it's gonna wreck you. I need to get some more great stuff in it. So picking up some triumphs for New Capenna, that'll really fuck my friends over.
Dude, Bance McCullers. What are you trying to say?
I don't play that way, Bob.
I think Grixis is in there too, isn't it?
I don't. I'll be honest. I don't know all the cool color combinations.
And
what's
the white, blue, black one?
Streets of Copacabana? I don't know. I pulled some of them. Hold on.
White, blue, black is also in there, I'm pretty sure. That's a real popular. What is that? Esper?
Esper, yeah.
So that, I mean, Bant, Esper, and Grixis are pretty.
So Bant is
popular.
Spara's headquarters. And then I only pulled the Jetmir.
The most popular one's Rafine's Tower. I don't know what that is. Is that the Esper?
Fancy that looks. It's like see-through. Yeah, I actually really the card, the full art one, they actually look better than the triumphs.
Rafine's Tower is white, blue, black.
Yeah, so that's the Esper. That's the one that's the most expensive. Esper Control is crazy out there.
I've heard those words before.
Oh, yeah.
Esper Control?
Yeah.
Yes, those ones all put
pretty
together.
Popular. So
that card,
while you might not like the Triumph colors that are in there, it completes the Triumph cycle for Mycoria. And
that's great.
They're super useful. I mean, I'm just saying, don't lose sight of great cards that you need out there, folks. Especially if you're going to come join us in Las Vegas for the 30th anniversary. You will find the MTG gaming crew out there for sure, and we keep pushing Mr. Pauper to sell some blood or something to get there. If you guys want to send him a donation, and we could do some vlogging in Vegas together.
Down below, you guys send me some ducats. If I can get them in buckets, then I'll go out with them because we'll say fuckets.
Heck yeah. Get some. I will make him vlog for you guys if you get him to go. I will twist.
Every time you say ducats, I think of Warframe. I don't know of any other place with ducats.
Ducats is an old currency, like medieval.
Yeah, Warframe uses ducats.
I 90s kid. That's just what like people would say about money.
Ducats. I don't know if that was
Dollars.
Spanish. Was
It sounds
doubloons.
piratish.
Maybe like Portuguese
No,
or something.
that's doubloons.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I'm an idiot. Ducats is an old term though. Anyways,
Sure.
maybe it's old German currency. Who knows? But
well, I actually just hit 600, and I'm actually over 600 now for YouTube subscribers. So
the ducat is a cold.
Yeah, things are going great over there. I'm gonna
congratulations. That's
I gotta do like something for that.
So ducat is a gold coin formerly current in most European countries. So there we go. It was used as a trade coin in the Middle Ages of the 13th to the 19th century.
Mm-hmm.
And I only know it from Warframe.
Sad
things you learn.
I don't like history that much. I've never been a history buff.
And by the way, pause. I love you, but the word is cudgel. Cudgel. It's like a club, a blunt instrument. Just so you know, it sets me off every time I hear you say it.
What does he say?
I don't know, like cudgel.
Oh, he's probably just memeing. I meme all the time about certain things.
I don't think so. Just letting you know. Come to me for English advice, folks. I'm pretty good at that stuff with pronunciation.
So, interesting thing about Misty Rainforest, circling back to Fetchlands. So on TCG Player, they're on average of $22. Pretty solid price.
Yeah, that's a bargain market.
On Card Kingdom, they're $33. But we all know that Card Kingdom single prices have always been kind of high.
Yo, for reals.
Yep. Their sealed product seems fine, but their singles seem quite high. But at $22 for a fetch land, that's pretty solid. I mean, their all-time high is 96, all-time low is 14. So they appear to be on the upward trend. That's interesting.
I don't necessarily trust the lows because I've never seen.
Yeah, the low is from 2012, so never mind.
Yeah, sometimes because they will pull data from different sites. The way some days that their metrics seem to work out, depending on the mood the site is in, or just some weird listings. Yeah, lows can be very off-putting.
That's like saying houses used to cost $14,000.
All right, they're still on a downward trend, so maybe hold off a little bit longer, I guess. If you remove the last the last 2 years,
I'm going to caution about that. And I've heard rumor, and it's only rumor, unsubstantiated, that next month they're cutting off Modern Horizons 2.
It's still in print?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like the amount that's been opened is just sick. And these cards are holding these prices. So what do you think is going to happen when that faucet gets cut off?
If only they could do that with Double Masters.
So I'm not even going to address that. Many first-time printings in Modern Horizons 2. This is a reprint set. Big difference.
So is Double Masters. It's a reprint set. Everything's reprinted.
Double Masters is not in print.
That's what I'm saying. It should be. Double Masters 2022 should be printed demand. It's designed to reprint for cards.
Totally disagree.
To supply people.
It is going to drop the price of cards. It's definitely dropping. Huh?
The only reason they're not printing this to demand is because they want to have a double whatever next year. They don't want to saturate the market so much that they can't reprint more of the cards.
Well, and they would be upsetting a huge part of the market and breaking customer confidence in buying any new products. It would be exactly what people are complaining about. They're adjusting to what the majority of the market wants. Sorry.
I think they've caused
Look,
panic.
You like MPC. Go just have them printed out there. Anybody who wants cards at 15 cents, you want 15-cent Black Lotuses, go to MPC. MPC, get in touch with us. You're one of the few people that we would actually sponsor, would take as a sponsor. But I'm telling you right now, that's the way to go do it.
What's the difference? Okay, I actually truthfully want to know this. What the hell? This is a really you want to see a really beat the shit card?
I didn't want you. I've seen a bunch. I have some.
This forest, man. This thing's meant for hell.
So
that's a real forest, man. That's legit.
It's real. I don't even know I don't know if it's beta or alpha.
Looks like
or
revised.
Revised? I don't know, but yeah, I just happened to come across this.
Is there a date in the bottom left-hand corner?
No, it just says illustration Christopher Rush. Oh, it's a Rush land.
It looks like revised, but the only way to tell is if there's a bevel. I mean, it's not the only way, but if there's a bevel on the black border, or if it's just a solid line.
It looks like a solid line.
that looks like that. Like I said, that would be revised. I could show you one of the days when we get together. I'll show you the difference between unlimited and revised.
I was actually trying to think about what is the difference in I guess we'll start with Bob. To you, what is the difference between a physical proxy card, the one printed from MPC, not real, versus the same card but printed from Magic the Gathering? Like if you have two in your hand, why do you care at all what the difference between the two is? I'm curious. What in your mind goes, I can't, fuck that proxy, I can't deal with that. But this other printed card from another company is like, oh, okay, that's the card I want. What is it, the value that it is perceived on the market, or is it something else?
So well, I mean, that's a complicated question.
I know. That's why I asked it. I was thinking about it the other day.
The one is an investable product. It's an investable commodity. The other one you can print out, and I don't care about proxies
because it's from the originating company. You know, the first manufacturer. You know, they control the IP. They have created the identity of the item that you're purchasing. So as inherent value. So by having the original of it from a WotC, then it has an intrinsic value. You can hand that off to someone, whether it goes up or down. That's the real item. Whereas a copy thereof, it's like the Mona Lisa versus a really cool printout of the Mona Lisa, I guess, is the difference. You want to have one in your house, but you can only afford to have one of them.
Right, sure. Right. And what I'm asking you guys, why do you feel any different about having the original versus something that looks exactly the same? You cannot tell the difference.
So, I mean, again, and this, so it's more on the question to kick back to you. To Pat and I, we both understand there is a commodity. It's the real thing. It's like saying, well, here's a gold coin and here's a gold painted coin. They both look the same. What's the difference? Because one is an actual commodity that has actual value, right? The one that you reprint over and over and just spray paint gold, it'll look the same. If you wanted to play money and not really do anything real with it or trade it to other people as a valuable commodity, cool. Then you can have a big stack of gold painted coins in your house to make you feel like you can take a treasure bath in it. But if you want something that has actual inherent value, you need the real deal. You need the real gold coin. And why are they valuable versus gold painted coins? Because you can make billions of gold painted coins for every one real gold coin that you have. So
but it looks
that's
exactly
a commodity. I know with all the long conversations, you get to the TLDR of this, Matt tends to smush all of this together. There's no distinct buckets in Magic between proxies and card values and this whole market thing. So this is why I try to always express I see the Magic world, and this is my opinion, that you have to divide the Magic world up into three basic types. You have the players, the collectors, and the investors. Right? And there was a fourth category, I like those that just crack for, because it really is that people that don't play, collect, or do it for investment because they're cracking open products just to crack them open, whether it's for YouTube or just the exhilaration of cracking shit open. Because it's not a financial thing. Once you start cracking product and you're not intending to play with it, collect it, or invest in it. So you're smushing multiple buckets together into the same thing, and it causes confusion. For the people that are buying it, it is the investable commodity for something that has a limited print run, a fixed quantity coming from the actual manufacturer, ergo, it has more value. Now, they've made kit cars out there, kit Porsches, kit this and that. And those cars cost like $20,000. Looks like the real thing. So why is it not $250,000 for your fake Bugatti? Because it's not a Bugatti.
Yeah.
That's why. And it's the same thing. You can try to reproduce and make it look like it. What's that?
I said, quite frankly, some of the kit cards are better quality than the actual manufacturer, depending on the car.
I mean, if you just don't, that's my opinion. Depending. That's why.
Well,
don't smush the buckets together, and it won't be difficult to discern why it should have value to other people. And it's not me. I don't make up the rules of the world. This is just I want
to clarify. I'm not saying that your outlook or your perception of it is wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong, and I'm not saying mine's right, and I'm not saying Pat's is wrong. I was just curious as I was sitting there thinking about it. I guess for me, I don't care that it's original at all,
and that's beautiful. I love it for it.
I can sleeve the card in. It does exactly the same thing as the original. It literally does nothing. A piece of printed paper off the printer does the exact same thing.
So that's what I was just gonna say, is that I actually have more decks in person that are like a common or a basic land with a slip of paper I printed out off my printer at work. I didn't, not my printer. Fuck that noise.
These are printed papers. This is a piece of paper. Look, paper. This is paper. It's the same thing. It does the exact same thing. Your friends will be like, "Yeah, that's a merchant scroll. I know what that does."
Yeah,
that serves as a library for a blue instant card, and you can put it in your hand.
Our in our pod is we set a value for the price of a deck. We say our current price is $250. Stay under that goalpost and make whatever kind of deck you want. Print it out on paper, cut it up, stick it in sleeves, and shuffle up, and we'll play. None of these are real cards. We all understand that. It's just the agreement that we're coming together to have a fun time playing Magic. And by proxying up cards in that manner, it costs us absolutely nothing but sleeves. So it's just for the fun of the game. And we set a price point as a buy-in, and that's the gauge. Otherwise, it would just be, man, I have a YouTube channel where I open Magic cards. Of course, I have way more than everyone else. Or my buddy, who makes notably more than I do, will just buy anything that he wants. So it's like, where do we go? So we just
kind of nice. We have like an unwritten rule zero. Like none of our decks, although a lot of them are proxied in my play group, none of us play like stupid. Like my Kinnan deck, I don't play in the main group. That Kinnan deck, it's less than $500 and it's still degenerate. So
here's the best way I can kind of describe it. So you probably don't see any issues whatsoever if you needed a watch to wear to a fancy event to go get the $25 Rolex out of like the street vendor in downtown Cleveland, right? $25 Rolex watch. But the CEO of your company doesn't need to get a Rolex watch. He won't buy a Rolex watch. And if you try to take that Rolex when you're done with your event and go sell it at a pawn shop, they're going to look and say, this is not a Rolex, it's a Rolex. You know, and you're not going to get anything for it. I doubt they would even give you the $25 you paid for it.
I guess that's kind of the point. I don't see the value.
I don't know how to explain to you value, inherent value with things that are rarer and have value. That's just human.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying that I'm right. What I'm saying is that every time I buy a single of like a real Magic card, say it's $50, I feel like an idiot every time. I'm like, this is not worth $50 to me.
For you.
I don't see the value in the singles like the investors do. I when I can have it printed from a random shop or even just printed on a piece of paper and get the same feeling of playing it and the same the only like I don't look at it like these cards that I have to the right of me. I went through my entire collection, added them to TCG just to have like a inventory, and I'm just like, I don't look at these cards any different than the proxied ones. They are the same to me. One is worth more, sure, I could go sell that, but until I actually sell it, they mean nothing. They mean no difference because to me, nothing has a value until you actually exchange that for that money. So
sure.
At any minute in time, for these cards could be worth nothing.
Thing. Let's use diamonds and cubic zirconia.
Yeah.
They're both there for decoration. I'm not talking about diamonds as an industrial use. I
was going to say they technically have.
That's
more,
a whole different thing.
Yeah,
okay, but the average person doesn't have a use for diamonds for an industrial use, and that's not what most people buy. They're not buying industrial use diamonds, and most people, I'll bet you that cubic zirconia outsells the shit out of real diamonds.
Oh, for sure.
But then try to sell it.
Yeah. Well, you know, you go down to the jewelry.
They both serve that function for what you were talking about. They look like bling, and most of them you can't tell until you put them under a microscope. The difference between cubic zirconia or a diamond. They both are decoration for you while you're looking at them. But like you said, when you go to sell it,
if you're at your LGS or, with just your pod at a kitchen table, yeah, proxies are absolutely fine. But if you're using them for another purpose, not just for the point of reselling them for value, but if you're trying to go to a tournament, God forbid you try to go to a commander tournament, but if so, then for some reason you can't use those. You have to say, yeah, these are proxies. Sorry, they're not real cards. So there's, I guess, that point. But for your sake, absolutely. When you're shuffling them up, it's the same thing. When you're turning them sideways, it's the same thing. When you're trying to figure out how much mana you get from them, they're the same exact thing. 100%. But
I'm curious when I lost my collector's outlook. Because when I was younger and when I first started playing Magic, I remember like I would very frequently look through my binder just to look at how what cool cards I got. I think I lost that. I don't know what that's all about, but I still love the game. But my collector's part of it, I could care less. I could, if I wasn't losing my ass, I would sell literally all of these cards. I would literally sell, like I'll not even care. Like give me $6-7 grand, I'd be completely happy. But I know that right now the market's horrible, so I'm not going to do that. So.
You know what would have made those cards far more valuable? I'll let you complete that thought, Pat. I'll let either one of you complete that thought. What I would say, how you would have made those cards a whole lot more valuable.
Yeah.
The ones to the right of me or the ones I previously had?
All of them.
Just sit on them and put them in your closet and never do anything with them?
Keep it sealed.
Thank you.
And that's so stupid.
Okay.
A collectible card game that's designed to be opened and played
rules
with.
Either.
No, I know. I hate it. I hate it
again if we need to go through this lesson.
No, I'm not. Again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I hate it. I think it's one of the stupidest things to keep things sealed.
Getting rid of cards. I was actually talking with Ed from Dual Brain MTG recently about trying to set up an auction. So if you want to get rid of some cards, we might actually get that going.
I don't want to do it now. The market's horrible to sell. I'm not going to sell crap. I don't need the money. It's not about the money. That's the thing. Maybe it's because I don't need the money. Maybe I don't see the value in until I need the money. Then I'm like, oh, I need to get money. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I lost my collector's spirit or whatever you want to call it, and I don't know 100% why.
I've actually picked up a new collector spirit. And man, I love watching my sealed collection grow.
Yeah, you started to find a bunch of Star Wars sealed. But you plan to crack that potential. The Star Wars seal that you were buying? But you probably plan to more draft that than anything. If we
I don't know.
Do that.
It was so cheap at $52 a box. I was like
why not?
Yeah. Liquidated. I'll take it. I mean, it's a dead game that I enjoy. You played it. It's an enjoyable game.
It's a good game. I actually think it's pretty good. Reminds me
a lot
of
now
Ashes.
I have enough that will last us for an eternity. It will be more drafting than we could ever possibly do. So happy with that. And then I have sealed boxes if I just want to keep them, because let me tell you, that old Lord of the Rings game that died probably 4 years after it came out, those boxes I have, 2 of them, they're probably about $500 a piece for a dead game.
I like it.
No, not that Lord of the Rings game.
Oh, the
original one,
the collectibles one, the trading one. I never played that one.
Nobody plays that game. But those boxes are valuable because they're just old and sealed, right? And they're rare, very, very rare. So at any rate, maybe the Star Wars boxes, I don't know. But sealed, I love the sealed collecting aspect. I love Rudy for the fact that I got into it mainly because of Rudy. I never thought about it. I always cracked shit. I didn't keep sealed stuff. Always cracked my box.
I've got to say that it was Time Spiral Remastered that got me back into Magic after, a long hiatus. And it was probably Rudy that got me into the sealed investing side of it and realizing that there was a financial tie-in depending on how you went about it. If you saw it as a business opportunity, an investing, a collectible side, or just a way to farm rares and mythics. If you want to just build a small sofa made out of commons, this is a fine way to do it. Start a YouTube channel. Perfect. But if I didn't do the sealed investing or buy, sell, make more money off it, I don't know if I'd have the same enthusiasm, which is very interesting. That's why I love having these conversations with you guys. is that we all have very different standpoints on this, which I think is phenomenal. You know, that civil discourse, which is what I want to see from all of you down below in the comment section as well. So go ahead, leave your opinions there as well, please.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I love hearing from the audience. I truly love interacting with folks. So I love the live streams, probably the best. So sorry that this one is not a live stream and we're not responding to comments. And I hope you're enjoying the content.
Fingers off for 4th of July. So come on.
I'll try to be in the chat during the replay. Or the
I will as well. I'll be there. I'll be there to answer questions or talk to people if they want to. Unfortunately, you know, it is what it is, but we're allowed to have lives too and go do things. We won't be here for the Halloween weekend.
Exactly. Yep.
We'll be in Vegas.
Hey, we might be able to go live on our channel for a little bit though.
Oh boy, we'll try, but I have a feeling it's going to be brutal. Like we might be able to go live for a few minutes and kind of recap a day from the hotel room. We might want to take a laptop with us to
I'll bring my laptop.
So that'll be interesting. And let us know. Hey, let us know what you want to see from Vegas too. I'm going to do my best to be there for that beta event. I don't know if I'll record the whole thing, but I definitely want to at least see a beta box in person, get as close as possible as I can to the box and the packs. Because in 29 years, I started in 1994, never even seen one, not in a store, not in person anywhere. Never seen a beta box or pack. Plenty of beta cards, but not boxes or packs. That was already gone a year after it released. So that'll be, you know, kind of a bucket list kind of thing for me to see. I doubt I'll ever see one again anywhere. Yeah, I would assume that most beta boxes are kept in vaults at this point. So, and even the packs, you know, at 10 grand a piece, I'd be keeping it in a vault. So, yeah, it'll be a unique thing to go see in Vegas. So let us know what you want to see from some of the events. I'm going to try to meet up with Mark Rosewater at a minimum. And it would be great if I could play some Unfinity with him. That would just be another bucket list scratched off there. I don't know how he's going to be involved. At any rate, let us know what you want to see from Vegas for the 30th anniversary. Maybe we could be the first to show the secret lair. The exclusive secret lair that they're going to have there. Show you kind of what the environment is. We'll do as much as we can, but we probably do a bit of drinking too. So forgive us if we're not Johnny on the spot.
I'm drunk and I'm smashing into people playing Magic. So make sure you subscribe to their channel. Links are always down below. So tune in for that. Until then, love you guys out there. Be well and catch you again soon.
Later.